Big hammer time. Okay, we're back in the shop. Like everything else we do, nothing exactly works out right. We left this thing for a couple days while we had some other stuff going on, and the transmission jack decided to bleed down, pull the dipstick tube out, and warp all the transmission fluid out the floor of the shop. So, a couple of scoops full of kitty litter later, and we got the majority of the yuck picked up out of there. We're going to take this thing out to the front pasture, spray a little degreaser on it, give it a few minutes, and then spray it down with the pressure washer. Try to get some of that built-on leakage out from that old motor, and give us a clean slate to work on that frame rail where we're going to redo all those mounts and such. We'll take you along for it. Little view up underneath it after we got her cleaned out a little bit. Wasn't too awfully bad, but I think that'll make our life a little easier. We do have to pull the tank out of it so that we can do the high pressure pump and the return lines and all that. So a little less goo that we got to deal with. That'll make our lives nicer whenever we get back to this thing. Down, not going to be able to hear much. We're going to have the tractor running, but we're going to go ahead and drag this thing back around to the house, get us in the shop, get back onto something productive other than cleaning yuck. We did, however, hook the brakes back up, seeing as the last trip down this road we ran the Jeep into the back of the tractor. Nothing hurt, just not exactly the image you want to portray. Jettison the dipstick. Okay, on the road again. Little Willie Nelson reference. And away we go. Like a herd of turtles. Yeah, brakes work better this time. Little wheel slide. Got that much poop in you.
I was moving with emergency brake. It's squeaking.
That must be good.
Close. Yeah, that's close enough. I can still get behind it. End of the day in the shop.
Got the Jeep pressure washed and put in back into the shop, and a few things figured out. It's a moderately productive evening for us. Good morning. We're back out here in the shop. Took a break for the evening, came back out. Today we're gonna get the motor mounts, old motor mounts cut off, get the frame cleaned up a little bit, start into the wiring, get that cut out. We will get the grinder out and get hacking on this thing a bit. Big hammer time. We're going to go ahead and cut this guy off here so that we can pull these transcooler lines over out of the way, cut this off flush, and then we'll just clean it up. We'll leave the little tab stuck on the bottom. Weight reduction. The weld's cut off there. We went ahead and left the little tab on the bottom. One, because I don't want to hang upside down and grind that off, and two, it's really close to the snubber pad for the axle stop, so I didn't want to have to play with that guy there. We'll just clean this up and make it all pretty, get ready for the new motor mount. Alright, on to side two. This one poses a little more of a problem, seeing as the steering shaft runs right through the middle of this thing. But we'll get her figured out. Hack the top of it off and cut the other pieces back and see what we can figure out. We may have used all the good out of that one. That's okay. They make more. Why you gotta be like that? Big hammer. More modifications required. Angle I cut that on left me in a bad spot. I couldn't get the grinder to it. Uh-oh. We made an egg.
Need a new one?
I blowed her up. Hop, skip, and a jump, and she said I quit.
Sinners don't last in them.
That?
The sinners don't last in them.
Nah, but they cut really good. Bye. Oh. So let's give you a look here at what we ended up with. We ended up getting all of the motor mount cut off of there, steering out, brake system has been disconnected. We decided to go ahead and rerun and clean up all of that stuff. Drive lines are out of it so that we can move the powertrain where we want. All ground down, cleaned up. We decided after some thought that we would do a little wiring cleanup, so we pulled the dash out of this thing. Let's give you a look at what we found underneath this thing. There is a plate full of ugly spaghetti. So we're going to go through that thing and clean it up, get all of that mess out of there, pare down a bunch of those wires that definitely don't need to be in there, and streamline the process here for what we need and only what we need, and make that a little more manageable. We may also put a fuse block in the inside of this thing, seeing as how this spaghetti mess right here that we got on the outside has all the fuses on the outside of the vehicle, and they're in loops. So that wiring comes out of the inside of the vehicle, out to a fuse, back in and back through the firewall, just for one circuit. So I think we'd be better off to pare that thing down, maybe move that inside, clean up this engine compartment so that we don't have just a mess of stuff asking to be clipped or ripped off or snagged or in our way. So we'll see what we can clean up with that. Hey, we're gonna call it a night. Thanks for being with us. Click that subscribe button and we'll catch you on the next one.